Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mikey Report for September 5th, 2010. Glad you can be with us. I am Mikey Edwards inside our Mikey Report studios. Our top story today is the U.S. troops joining in the Baghdad battle against the militants. Days after the U.S. officially ended combat operations and touted Iraq's ability to defend itself, troops found themselves battling heavily armed militants assaulting an Iraqi military headquarters in the center of Baghdad Sunday, according to an AP report. Fighting killed 12 people and wounded dozens. It was the first exchange of fire involving troops in Baghdad since the August 31st deadline for formally ending the combat mission, and it showed that American troops remaining in the country are still being drawn into the fighting. So, Iraqi freedom still going on, in a sense. Attack also made plain the kind of lapses in security that have left Iraqis wary of the U.S. drawdown and distrustful of the ability of Iraqi forces now taking up ultimate responsibility for protecting the country. The hour-long assault was second in as many weeks on the facility, the headquarters for the Iraq Army's 11th Division, pointing to the failure of forces to plug even the most obvious holes in their security. But we also have some more local news to talk about, including a New Jersey company recalling some doggy treats over a possible Salmonella contamination. Of course, we've had Salmonella scares before. Nothing like this. A New Jersey company is recalling 75,000 bans of dog treats because of possible contamination, according to Hart's Mountain Corporation of Secaucus, New Jersey. It was on 8-pound bags of Hart's Naturals real beef treats for dogs. They were imported from a supplier in Brazil and have been distributed around the U.S. There have been no reports of illness in animals or humans, according to the company. Of course, we know Salmonella is a foodborne illness that can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in young children, frail or elderly people, or others with weakened immune systems. Any questions can be directed to Hearts at 800-275-1414. In some political news that we are delving into at this hour, Democrats are planning a political triage to retain the House. The Dems might divert its resources to save 24 incumbents, according to a New York Times article, as the Dems brace for a November wave that threatens their control of the House. Party leaders are preparing the brutal triage of their own members in hopes of saving enough seats to keep a slim grip on the majority. In the next couple weeks, leaders will review new polls and other data that show whether vulnerable incumbents have a path to victory. If not, party is posed to redirect money to concentrate on trying to protect up to the 24 lawmakers who appear to be in the strongest position to fend off their challengers. Chris Van Hollen, a Republican representative of Maryland, the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, said, "We are going to have to win these races one by one," conceding that the party would ultimately cut loose members who had not gained any ground. So it is definitely crunch time for the Dems to try to keep a hold of this midterm election. Let's get to weather, where we've had a gorgeous weekend with our forecast. It's currently cool, a cool 49 degrees up in the Mount Cobb area. and 45 degrees up in Mount Cobb, and 55 degrees here in Phoenixville. Still a very high pollen count here in Phoenixville, so Kleenex, Zyrtec, Claritin, use whatever you got to try to keep your allergies in check, because they are needed. But first, we have more of a tropical depression to worry about, but it's not really coming up the East Coast. It's more or less hitting the Gulf and Texas. It is southeast of La Pesca, Mexico. Tropical Depression 10 with winds at 30 miles an hour, moving north at 7 miles an hour. At our latest update, our projected path is showing that it's going to cut up into Mexico probably through Monday night into Tuesday, possibly becoming more than likely becoming a tropical storm, but quickly going back to depression state and finishing probably just according to a projected path, finishing in like the southern portion of Texas. That is the latest on our tropical storm, but now let's get to our local forecast, where it's going to be more pleasant than what it is down in Texas. We're looking at a 76 degree day up in Mount Cobb, and here in Phoenixville we're looking at 84. Currently feeling like both temperatures, I said, 45 and 55 respectively. And for the 76 is and 84 is closing out our Labor Day weekend. I almost said Memorial Day. Either way, I don't have work. But we're looking at 83 degrees as we move on into the work week. Still sunny skies though. Wednesday, but we're moving back to fall more comfortable seasonable temperatures going into throughout the work week and into the following week, with only one day, Sunday the 12th, with a possible isolated thunderstorm. As we look in our 10-day, Wednesday the 8th, 74 degrees, Thursday 9th, 65, Friday 68, Saturday the 11th, 67, Sunday the 12th, 75, Monday the 13th, 72, Tuesday the 14th, 68. And we're looking at 84 degree day tomorrow with 89 on Tuesday. Still going to be comfortable and seasonable. Wednesday we're looking at 87 degrees. Thursday we're looking at a drop in temperature, 76. Friday the 10th, 77. Saturday 79. Sunday, I said about the isolated thunderstorms, they are possible. 83 degrees down here in Phoenixville. Monday the 13th, 82. And Tuesday the 14th, 77 degrees. So it's definitely not been bad, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if the markets are open. I don't think they are, because it is a federal holiday. I don't have mail, so I'm assuming there is no stock market, so we won't have any business news tomorrow to worry about. However, we do have a lot of sports to cover, including our latest, where our information with a lot of NASCAR information. But first, let me get to some U.S. Open action. Fourth-ranked Andy Murray, was upset by number 25, Stanislas Wawrinka, in the third round. So he does not go on. He was expected by many to make a deep run at the U.S. Open this year. Instead, made his second straight earlier than expected exit from Flushing Meadows, New York, losing to Wawrinka in the third round. Rallied from a breakdown late in the second set for a 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-3 upset, a loss certain to be picked apart by tennis-loving fans back home. Andy Murray upset, but Venus Williams stays in the hunt, overcomes Shahar Peer, the 16th, losing to the number 3 in a tougher than expected test for Williams. It was a 7-6, 6-3 in Arthur Ashe Stadium in Flushing Meadows. So Venus succeeded and moves on. In other action, Elena Dementieva is in the third set, one set apiece by Stosur, 3-6 and 6-2. In men's action, Rafael Nadal won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, and 6-2. In baseball action, the big contenders in the AL, the East, did not win. Toronto beat the Yankees 7-3. Rays lost to the O's 8-7, and the Red Sox lost to the White Sox 7-5. Nationals beat the Pirates. It's a 8-1 victory for the Nats. Braves lost to the Marlins in extras 7-6, and the Phillies did not gain any ground, lost to the Brewers 6-2. Mets clobbered the Cubs 18-5. Twins beat the Rangers 6-5. And the Padres, on their 10th loss, Rockies beat them 4-2. And the Giants are within one game in the West, beating the Dodgers 3-0 tonight. Rex Ryan and Darrelle Revis ended up meeting to possibly sort out negotiations with the star cornerback of the Jets. Revis is holding out currently, trying to get more money. Made $15 million in his first 3 seasons, due to make 21 over the next 3. Wants to become the highest paid cornerback in the league, seeking about $16 million a season. But he's angry at the Jets because he believes they reneged on a promise to make him the highest paid corner. Jets offered Revis a 10-year, $120 million contract and a 4-year, $40 million deal, but there's only a small amount of guaranteed money in each. Revis agents countered by asking for 162 over 10 with more than 40 guaranteed. So the holdout has been going on for 35 days and 7 hours plus. So we'll continue to see what happens with that. And Tony Stewart ended up pulling away in NASCAR and winning his first Cup Series victory of the season. Might be a little too late, and the Houston Texans are going after Matt Leinart, so we'll see what happens there. But that's it for the Mikey Report for September 5th, 2010. I'm Mikey Edwards saying good night, God bless, and see you next time on the Mikey Report.